There are 3 questions there. Student services, I'm going to broaden it out slightly. So student services, how are you going to approach student services to make sure that the services that students need are the right ones? And I'm going to broaden out your one as well, hope you don't mind. How, as the representative of, how are you going to represent different diversity groups and ensure you do that adequately? And finally, what is your other relevant experience and why are you standing for the role of VP Wellbeing? We're going to go in reverse order from how we spoke. First of all, you're going to have 1.5 minutes. I will shout you at when you have 30 seconds left. Yeah, so the questions are, and if you just look to me, I'll prompt you as well. Student services, how can you make sure that they're actually delivering what students want? How are you going to represent different diversity groups such as the LGBT group, and what's your relevant experience and why are you standing? In no particular order, away you go.
Okay, as regards to the student services, I think a lot of it is to do with communication. If we know what the student wants, and if I can get your voices and what you need and what you want and work closely with the career centre, with the wellbeing kind of issues that we have, I think that is going to be the key. Letting them know what you want and being able to give you what you want. If they don't know, they can't do anything about it. For the LGBT group, well, basically, I think there should be forums. I think we should be able to have groups that come in, socials, and basically, again, communication. You need to have a voice, and I want to be the one that puts it forward for you. With regards to experience of wellbeing and why I'm going for it, I am trained as a teaching assistant for 16 to 25-year-olds and special needs from 16 to 25-year-olds as well. I've worked in the care system and in the school system, and I can see how people's well-being affects their education. Being at uni is more about just having your heads in the books. You need to feel supported as students by the university outside of the lecture rooms. And yeah, that's it basically. So vote Amy Marler. Thank
you very much. And guys, just in the back, can you settle down a bit when people are speaking, please? That'd be much appreciated. Don't make me set Jim on you. Okay, away you go.
Hi guys, sorry, I'm going to turn that way because the questions all came from that way, but I'm talking to all of you. Background, I'm going to start there because I think that's probably the best place to start. Firstly, I'm a trained youth worker. I do youth work every week still back up in Crawley in my hometown. I also, as I say, I have been involved in the union for the last 2 years, and a lot of the stuff that I've been involved in the last 2 years now falls under that wellbeing zone. Plus, I was the person that helped bring the wellbeing zone to Brighton. I know how it's supposed to work, I know how it can work, I make it work. The LGBT question and about liberation officers in general. Actually, if you look at the new structure, yes, unfortunately we have lost those positions, but what the thinking behind it is we can now host open forums for all these things, or closed working groups if that's the way it needs to work, which means rather than having one LGBT officer, which is what we've had for the last couple of years, we can have 50, we can have 100, we can have the whole society, plus people who don't want to be affiliated to the society and want to be their own student. We can have all of that, and that's not just LGBT, that's ethnic minorities, that is diversity groups, that's absolutely everyone, guys. Anyone who has a stakeholder in wellbeing can turn up to these meetings and make sure that we get everything done we need to get done. Last point was on counselling and student services, and it is about holding student services to account. They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. If students need counselling, they need it now, as was said. If they don't need it in a month's time, they don't need it in 2 months' time, they need it now. What I want to do is I want to take it to Student Affairs Committee and I want to hold the university to account. That means the Vice-Chancellor, that means the Head of Student Services, that doesn't mean the people who work in the office around the corner, that means the heads, and trickle it down from there, and that's what's really important. Vote ending number 1 for wellbeing. Thank you very much.
Okay, again, you've got 1.5 minutes. So first question around student services, holding to account counselling. Second around representation of groups such as LGBT. And thirdly, your relevant experience and why you're standing. Where you go?
First of all, talking about counselling, obviously that's an important thing. Students want right now. So what I want to do is actually maybe be there for students, maybe listen to on behalf of what they're doing, maybe put the service ahead. Like I say, maybe go to the Vice-Chancellor, maybe push it, because you do need the service right now instead of in a couple of months' time where you don't need it anymore. If maybe problems I'm seeing to now, it could lead to something worse, like psychotic problems maybe, it could lead to depression, so it's a very important issue to address as right now as the future.
Representation groups such as LGBT.
I mean, obviously the LGBT is a massive community in Brighton University, and so I'm Brighton overall, so that's another important thing. I mean, I want to try and really push that LGBT gets a proper say in what happens at the university. If I can't, maybe it'd be good to appoint someone below me, or appoint someone else who can definitely work towards giving LGBT a fair say in what's going on in the university, because their experience on that line as well, and it's unfair that they're missed out.
Relevant experience and why this role?
In terms of relevant experience, I haven't been an SE officer before, but what I have done is I've worked in the pharmacy for the last 5-6 years, and through that I've definitely developed, obviously working with like customers who are ill, and actually listening to them, giving compassion, and actually listening to the problems they're having. And I think that helps. Also, I haven't done it before, but I've been at university for 3 years. I had similar problems when I first started. I didn't think the SU did anything for me, and over time I've grown to develop. So I've seen what students go through, the problems and troubles they have, and hopefully my experience can maybe help.
That's time. Okay, you have a minute and a half.
Okay, with regards to your counselling query, I spoke with the woman who works in counselling yesterday, and she did show me statistics from the counselling service, and a lot of the work they do is very good, and they do reach a lot of students, quickly, but I empathise with your point, because some students are missing out with the long waiting times, and I would take that to a higher level and get something done about it. With LGBT, there needs to be more communication. I mean, if I was the VP of Wellbeing, then I could work with people from the LGBT society, and also I think I'd need to get more communication with students who maybe aren't in that society, and I think a lot could be gained from speaking to people at the end of lectures and things, just to get them to know who I am, where I am, and what I can do for them. And with my own experience, as I think I said in my speech, I currently have a job in non-term time where I work as a residential support worker for adults with severe mental health issues, so I know how to support people, and I have the maturity to do this role. And I also have worked as a peer supporter, as an aim higher mentor.
That's time. Thank you.
Thank you.